Welcome back to another video, guys. So in this one we are going to do the transit interior lights, beacons and night heater, and Greg is coming along to give us a hand. Again, didn't even get to drive my own van nowadays. Greg's the driver. But we're on our way to Hamilton, and then I'm going to start doing the beacons. Greg will fit the interior lights, and then we'll both jump on the night heater together and we'll try and show you exactly how it's all done. So we're at this van now. This is the roof beacon we've got to go on. The customer supplied this one, so it comes with a little control unit, and then obviously your roof beacon, and then we have our night heater and interior lights, the beacon and light bars. So we'll open them up and we'll get these screwed up first. Now these are the interior lights we're using. They are lap ones, and these are 900mm, and it's pretty good because obviously your wire and all that is sort of in the back, and you can run double-sided tape, and then you can try to hold this with one hand. So if you put that on there and just have it with a screw, there's a gap, but you can put some double-sided tape, push it up, and it sort of follows the line, and it makes it just nice and flush. So that's what we're going to do with them. So these are the feet for the beacon that goes on the roof. So I need to go and measure obviously the two holes either side, drill and mount these, or mount these to the beacon, sorry, and then mount these to the roof. So we're going to try and climb our way up here now with a pen and a tape measure and mark this out. Now we've got the ladders out, wee rags at the top just so we don't mark any of the paintwork on the van. Greg in there fitting the lights. So we're going to mount this about here somewhere, so I just need to dry all that off so I can mark it. That's us marked our hole, so one there, one there, one there, one there, and then we'll need to do one bang in the centre for the wire. China. That is us, got our 4 holes drilled. So we've got these little rubber sort of washers as a sealer, and it comes with double-sided tape on the back. So they just sit, try and get this central, they just sit there like that, and that'll adhesive itself, and then we can put the brackets on and that will be a waterproof seal.
First one, aye.
So here we go, we've got a wee tip of the day, we'll call it.
You want that?
I'll put on that. So where the sort of holes have landed, it's in one of the cross members, so we're going to put the nut in the swan neck, bit of duct tape, bit of electrical tape over the bottom of it so the nut can't fall out, and that way Greg can feed it in and I can tighten it for the top. So that's the plan of action. Oh. And a bit of black tape just to hold the washer in place. There we go, and then we should be able to feed that. Should be able to feed that in through that hole, because the bolt's about here somewhere. So I'm just pulling that out slightly while Greg lines it up. And now let's screw it. It's caught the thread now. Hold on, I'll just get the gun. That's it, it's tight. That is these all on nice and tight now, so I'm going to line the beacon up, see exactly where the wire needs to go through, and then drill that hole, feed the wire through, and then bolt the beacon up. Now we've got a grommet in there, so just going to feed the wire through it. It's nice and tight, so we'll pull that all the way through, flip the beacon over. Now as you can see, it has rear, obviously that's facing forward now, but the beacon will flip over so it'll be facing the right way, and then these bolts in the grooves or the rails go in here, nut and bolt underneath, and that'll be it secured. That is us roughly on, so I just need to measure and obviously make sure that is aligned, and then we'll get our nuts and bolts under there, and then our wire is fed through it, and then we can wire that up. So I'll measure this, get all the nuts and bolts on, get that tightened up. So inside here we've got one interior light running there with the wire at the end, another one here wired, and then two sort of here, because this is the main work bit with the tyre machines, so this is where you need to see the most. And then obviously this is just, these two will cover that and cover these sort of tools at the side, so they're all ran to the side, and then we're just going to wire them in at the sides. Beacon light will run down, run all the way along, and then the controller, we've spoke to him and he's no bothered with it being in the front, so we're just going to put it here, it doesn't bother him. So that's going to go there, that will save us a bit of time. But aye, there's the update on the inside. There we go then, so that is us all on nice and tight, and aye, onto the wire and stuff. So I've fed the wire in into this channel, it comes out the channel in behind the black bit, and then we've got a black bit missing, so we're just running that along to here. We'll take it as far as we can, and then we'll wire the remote bit into that. Greg's then the interior lights, so again they go in the channels, come back out to here, some 2-core, so you're going to do that all the way along, join them, and we were just going to join them into the interior light. The guy doesn't want an exterior switch, he just wants them to work off of these, so we're just going to join them into these.
Honestly.
Greg's all proud of himself here, these wee sticky pads, keeping it nice and neat.
What a job, man.
I've ran my beacon wire into here that he's moaning about because I've used the bits for the clips, and then the remote, I've drilled that up there, so this sits there magnetically like so, and then this will run over here, join into there, and then that's just felt, and then obviously I just need to run a power in and earth to that. We've already got an external battery fitted, so that is what we're going to wire in our beacon to and our night heater. So we've got a wee inline fuse, this is going to be for the beacons, so I'll obviously take a power on the earth, put the power through that, fuse it, then run it up behind here to come out in that top corner where we've done that remote. So aye, similar to whatever this one is here, we're just going to do the exact same. Now I've got all this secured, so we're cable tied in here, and then we've got our little sticky pads that runs that all the way along into there. Greg has nearly finished the interior lights, and then all I've got to do is feed this sort of down the back here under the seat to do what we were going to do in here. There we go, nice and bright in here now. 4 big strip lights, there'll be no issues seeing light in here now. In fact, there you go, still like daylight in here even with the door shut. So there we go, our earth is connected, positive is connected, 10 amp fuse as per the instructions. So we put this in here, let's try to do this one-handed. 2 minutes, maybe use 2 hands for this. Fuse in, Greg's tidying up the back. Then if we come to this, and if we hit on off light bar, we do have an orange light. That shows you what sequence it is as well.
That is on.
There you go, so you can change all your sequences on that, that's pretty cool. Now let's go and see if it actually is lit up. There you go, that is that, all lit up, working good. And then obviously you just come back, just turn it back off there.
That was on a random one.
You can change all your settings on this, just hitting the mode button.
Keep going.
It's pretty,
Nah.
it's pretty cool. Now that is us halfway through, so the beacons are all up working. We're going to leave it on that setting, but obviously it's easy to change. Interior lights are also working. Now the night heater is going to go down here, so we need to move our bead blaster, check underneath the van that the exhaust can go out there and it's not going to drill through anything. Hopefully that's where it can go, if no we're going to have to get a bit creative I think, but we're going to try and put it there, so that is the next job. So Greg is just marking where the night heater is. We're going to mark the front of it and then we'll measure back to where the 2 holes are and then drill them through. So that is that marked, grab that. Then we'll just get our drill bit with a cone, and then the cone will just go right through the floor, right through the metal bit, and then we'll use some sealer to make it all nice and sealed. But he's measuring that now. There's our 2 holes drilled through. There's our 2 holes drilled for the top and the bottom, so it's nice and the same size. We're just going to feed the pipe through, double check it fits, and then screw them onto the bottom of the right here. Now that's Greg fitted sort of both the pipes on the bottom of that now, so we can lift that up, feed it through the holes that we've drilled, and then I'll put the muffler and all that on underneath, tidy it up, put the self tappers through the holes, and then it's just a case of wiring it up. That's us, got both the pipes fed out, so we'll tidy this up under here. Greg will put the self tappers in to secure the night heater. Now I'm going to put the exhaust muffler on and the air intake muffler, so they just go on with Jubilee clips, P-clamp the hoses, and the muffler just takes one self tapper through just to hold it in place. That's both our mufflers on now and our insulation stuff secured to the end, so once Greg's done with the gun we'll get the self tappers up through it. Our air intake's all secure and the exhaust, everything pointing downwards, so nothing should really hold any water. That's that done, so we just need to do the wiring bit and then chuck a bit of diesel in it and fire it up. That's our wire ran through under the seat, so it's 17 amp wire because it max pulls 12 amps. Greg's just cable tying that up behind the night heater so it's nice and tidy. I'll connect this up. I've writ roof beacons on that one and night heater on that, so if it ever blows a fuse you'll know what one to change. That's all that connected, so we just have our fuse. Try and do this one-handed again. Failed last thing, successful this thing. 15 amp fuse in there, so as I said it only pulls 12 amp, more than enough to cover that. So that is that all in there. We should now have power at the night heater. So there you go, you can see we're all lit up now. It'll no start and we'll put a wee bit of fuel in it just to get it going, and then we'll show you it up and running.
Kind of bends as well. This. As you can see, on by we've filled it up for you. How's that wee car hang? Like
That's the GoPro way, Greg.
How's that car?
So we've just gave that a full tank, filled it up. So now we should be able to turn it on and it should work. Well, Greg's just putting that ducting on. I'm just going to tidy up all my mess here, get rid of all the powder that comes inside the wire, give it all white so it's nice and clean. So that's it on there, it's just cable tied, it's as secure as you're going to get. It's sort of the only place we could have put it. I wasn't running it in behind there because it would just get trapped. Didn't want to run it down the side because this obviously spins, it would end up rubbing a hole through it. So it's nice with the cable tied there. Now if we hit it on, it says start heating, and it will probably take a few attempts. It's just to pump the fuel through and then it will start running, but cold air coming through there now. We'll give it a couple of minutes and we should have some heat. Don't know how well it'll come through on video, but you can maybe hear that pumping now. So that's starting to pump the fuel through, and then it should start to go into the internal heater, and hopefully we should start getting heat through that pipe. That is us, we're pumping out, roasting hot air now. That is the night heater all done, interior lights done, and our beacon. So we've done all our wiring under there off our leisure battery. We have our beacons up here, night heater done there. Greg's done all the interior lights, what difference that's made. And if we come out to the back, there's your beacons. So that is all for that video. It's all done. Now me and Greg were on our way to go and do a water pump on a DAF. So that will be in an upcoming video, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification and keep tuned for that one. But thank you for watching and we'll see you on the next one.